Our party people, what's up YouTube fam? It's Shakira again. This is Dark Angels channel. Welcome back. We're going to be doing a little bit more practice and back testing. And this time, instead of using indicators, let's see if we can figure out, well, I'm still going to use my higher low and imbalance finder stuff, but let's see if we can figure out what's tradable just with the naked eye, right? We just need to see how that works. And that's this part, you know, I really think if you, or more importantly, if I, in this case, since I'm trying to figure this stuff out, if I can train myself to see these different patterns within the charts and the candles and the flow, and when it might potentially change directions without any real serious indicators to help a sister out, then I think I'd be well on my way to being a pretty decent trader. All right, well, if that sounds like a good time, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, use those little thumbsies and smash it up. All right, so check it out. I have picked out XRP. I've never tried to even remotely trade XRP. I have no concept of how it trades. And I have it on the daily here, and I've just randomly pulled back the price so we can just figure some stuff out. So right now, I'm just going to do this, and then that's ugly, right? I'm going to take off everything else and just leave the two things I said I was going to leave, which is my trusty imbalance finder and my higher lows, because it's just easy for me to see that stuff on the daily here. And let's set our levels, you know, things to look forward to. I'm gonna just drop that guy, and then we've got a swing level here. See how many times that guy touched. There's a nice touch there. 1, 2, 3. It's a little over 4, but you know, it's not terrible. I don't know if it needs to be perfect, but it does. Maybe adjust that a little bit. There we go. So those two are exact. 1, 2. That breaks through. That definitely breaks through. And these two, yes. Okay, so decent enough. And then let's see. Since we're still on the daily, let's confirm the trend, right? So we had a sharp drop there, so I'm not gonna blend that one in. Let's see, is this a good representation? Let's add that, and I'm just gonna adjust that up a bit. And so I wouldn't do this guy because, you know, there's only two potentials. This is a breakout of that trend. I might just draw a secondary set for funsies, but for now, let's see if we can't have the major stuff. Yes, that looks a lot better. And we've got this touch, that touch, a couple of other confirmations of the level, some floating foolishness, more touch, a break, some more confirmations. Lovely. All right, this is ugly. I'm gonna say that right now. This is real ugly. So I'm gonna just create myself a little notepad here. So the major trend, it's a downtrend. All right, on the daily, and let's just write that in on here. Downtrend daily as well. Let's put that into white. And no, I don't want it centered. Let's modify that. This way I can see, you know. Put it to the right. All right, perfect. All right, so right now, this looks like a bit of a floating level, and I don't like it. So, all right, yeah. So I'm thinking I might want to add another trend at the bottom here. Let's see what that looks like. Let's adjust that. And let's just add that in, and then let's double check it. So here, let's see, we got that one busted through. Let's come all the way to the left here, and There's that guy, almost. We got a little busting through, two busting through, and I think that's about it. And so that gives us the most, I think. So we'll leave that, because remember, these trend areas are like zones versus like actual single lines that must hold. You know, price isn't that insane. Plus, this trend line could really be even this. You know, even that. Actually, I like that better, so I'm gonna delete that. Oh, that looks like a downward sloping thing, right? On the daily. Nice. Okay, touch. Cool. Potential. Not bad. All right, so let's jump into our, I'm gonna use this as my little note-taking space right here. Let's jump into the 4-hour and see what we've got going on. Let's do this, make it a little bit thing. All right, so we've got a downward sloping thing, and obviously we're gonna hit some sort of crescendo and then, you know, pop out from there. So that's always fun. So how do we trade this? And right now, what is this 4-hour level that we're playing with, right? All right, so let's pretend that we've got another thing here. Let's change a different hour, a different color. And we're driving up. But let's look at this, the way this price action is looking right now. Let's zoom in on this 4-hour. All right, what can we see? So while we're coming in, we're making lower highs, then this really, you know, powerful drop. Big candles, spiked out, and then reversed back up. And now we're slowly coming back up. Now, honestly, you know, when I see things like this, it makes me feel like we're gonna start rolling back up to reclaim these imbalances, and it looks like we've already started right there, right? So let's mark off our imbalances, areas of interest, you know, targets for a long if we're silly enough to take one in a downtrend. In a level where we're bouncing up and down between the thing, then yeah, short yourself out. I'd be more interested in taking a short, and then be very careful of a long from these levels. You know, confirmation that it's popping back up, then definitely. Let's see. Let's mark this puppy out as well as areas of interest, so that, you know, we could potentially, if it breaks out of this thing, then we have something to work towards. But this is a very huge area. So honestly, like, if you were to technically zoom out here, if you were to try and trade this technically, your technical target, let me just estimate to the bottom of this trend line here. Bam. Let's do this. Once it breaks out, let's say it does break to the top side, would be $1.3571, right? And then of course, if it goes in the opposite direction, and I do believe, you know, the way this, we are in a recession, so more leaning towards the downside personally. But if there's some kind of news or something that might like push it up, like for example, Powell says, yeah, we're only gonna raise interest rates like 50 basis points, then
weird place right now when it comes to electrification, which for those of you guys listening,
sorry about that, guys. I'm listening to some car stuff as well, and just trying not to start my vid. But anyway, back to the testing. I was trying to figure that out. All right, so let's say this thing is going to pop up, and let me move my notes over a little bit. So let's also make a quick note here. So let's say, so we got major downtrend, in 4-hour as well, because, you know, depending on the time frame that you're doing this, you know, the trend might change. Potential flag, I can't spell, y'all, don't tell nobody. Breakout incoming. All right, and I wish this thing had like really cool bullet point stuff, but what can you ask for, right? All right, cool. Okay, so, all right, so right now, I don't know if I'd be feeling like there's anything exciting for me to do. Maybe if it came back down here, you know, broke below it, then did some confirmation that it's going to stay there, then maybe our target should be whatever this is, right? What's that? Now this is XRP. It's never even made it that low, I don't think. So let's assume. No assumptions. Oh, and this also crosses over into our level, so that's a good like area to try and take some profits if it comes up to it. All right, so let's drop to the 15-minute and see what else we can see. Oof, it's ugly. All right, so maybe we can clean this puppy up a little bit. I always like to readjust once I get to the lower time frames, because then I can see the levels even better. And clean that up. And this process really does take time, you know, so you really do have to have patience, you know. It's very fascinating, really. And then let's do this with as many touches as we can manage to make it a stronger level. And then let's zoom in and see how this was playing out. What do we have? What do we have? Yes, 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 yes. Lots of good confirmations on that level. So maybe we'll continue upwards towards this area here and attempt for some kind of breakout. All right. So on the 15-minute, what are we looking at? What are my potential options? So from this level, we made some highs, some higher highs, some highs. It's almost like the buyers are running out of steam, and then boom, it just tanked. Yeah, so another thing to be paying attention to, right, is, you know, the market structure. If you see, and this is a nice gradual uptrend, and this looks kind of like a bit of a consolidation area, sort of, right? Let's see. I don't know. It's not a good way to draw that, but a bit of a consolidation area, and it might have even been its own formation too. Let's see. Do we have something forming on here? It's just a channel, just a bit of a channel forming. Nothing too exciting. So I'm just gonna take this guy, that guy, and that guy as my channel levels, since that's about as much as I can get out of this. I'm gonna adjust that down a little bit, boom. And then all of a sudden we are done, and coming down. All right, do we see any patterns that can help us out? You know, and the one thing that I'm finding very interesting is this whole swing failure pattern thing, right? So, and the one thing that I've learned about the swing failure pattern and how to use it is the fact that it's always preceded by a nice juicy break like this, just boom, boom, and we're down, right? So what I'm going to do right now is look to the left and see if there's any area where we've been trading like that. I'm just going to draw that out for a second, and let's just call that an SR flip area. And we're going to move this to the left and see if this is actually an area where price has been gravitated to. And look at that. It is. You know, we're in an uptrend, came down, touched it, reeled back up, came down, touched until it finally broke. And then just came and touched it and then busted through again. And now we're in a space where it's touched it. And this area is pretty close by. So anything juicy below it? Okay, yeah. So we've got an imbalance down here that we could potentially try and get to. And another one down here, which could potentially break this wedge area that we're working. I'm just going to include both of these for the funsies. All right, so, and let's change the color for the SR flip so we can differentiate it. Actually, yeah, so we can differentiate it from everything else. All right, so on the 15, now I'm just gonna watch the price action. You know, just let it play and see how it, like, what it decides to do, if it's going to use it as support or resistance, right? Because it did bust through it pretty, I mean, it did think about it, resist, think about it some more, and then bam, we're out. Similar things here. We thought about it, rebounded, thought about it, rebounded, then bam, you know. Now drawing this SNR flip, support resistance flip, is kind of subjective, right? It's all about sorry about that, guys. All right, yeah, so we're just gonna figure out if maybe, so the question here is, do we go up? Is it gonna support it and keep going, or is it going to break through and then hit these guys? So let's see if we can find something to help us do that. So let's let this play out. Remember, I have no idea how XRP, ooh, oh my god, goodness, look at that. They just blew right through it. They didn't even bother to consolidate or anything. Usually, you know, what I'm looking for is something that's actually tradable. Like, honestly, when I see these big sharp drops, I feel like there's gonna be a really quick reversal right behind it. So let's continue. Ate up that imbalance. All right, and then oh yep, coming back into the SR flip area. So now I want to know if it's gonna just roll back up and then continue on to this area, or, and I'm just gonna move this over since it's already been eaten. I'm just gonna bam, stop it right there. And then I want to know if this is gonna like normalize up here, because then the potential is also that they could come back down here, either get stalled at this imbalance, or break through, eat it all, and then reverse. Or if they're really interested, we could go down to this bottom leg. Now, given that we haven't come close to touching that, I honestly don't think that we're going to do that. But hey, I'm a beginner and I'm just trying to understand how this price action works. So let's continue and see how this plays out. Because if it breaks above here and then comes back to retouch it, then it might be a good place to put a long in from. Once we see some kind of like, I don't know, bullish engulfing candle, or, you know, like this one right here. There's a bearish engulfing candle right there inside of the flip. And maybe, you know, maybe if you're watching this and you see this, you saw this form, this might tell you, hey, this probably will continue down lower, you know. But everything is a gamble, sort of. Anyway, so let's press play again. Let's see what else happens. Do we get any confluences? Oh, look. So it looks like it's using it as an area. Maybe we will be able to come back down. Let's see. Because I'd like it to play out and see if it ranges around in here, then maybe see something. All right, so what have we got so far? Oof, nobody won that battle on that candle right there, or that one. And then we have this bullish engulfing candle. Now guys, not every single candlestick pattern is something that should be traded. Usually I would say from an area of interest, like this is an SR flip zone, right? So if somewhere inside of this I see this candle, might be a good idea, like this one right here. And let's think about the current trend. Let's zoom out a little bit. So we're making higher highs, then we made a lower high, and then a high, and then broke down. So it might be that we continue making lower highs and continue down this way. Let's see if anything else more exciting jumps in here so we can get into some kind of a trade, right? And don't force it if you don't see it either, right? So that's the other thing I gotta remember. So I would have been watching this. I'm seeing that the buyers are in control. Oh, look at that. Look at that gorgeousness. All right, so we've got lower low forming, and so maybe after you've seen this action, wait for it to come back up into this SR flip location, right? It's touched the imbalance, and even if it doesn't, then you might have missed out on a trade, but that's what I would be thinking to do. And it looks like the sellers are losing steam. We're in a consolidation area right here. Hold on. So this is I think this is kind of like a good little, area here. So we're consolidating here, which means we're probably looking to move, to make a different move. And right now we're making lower highs. So, and we're at the top of this imbalance. But we're really close to this resistance area, so I wouldn't take any shorts into this because, maybe take the short after it's broken it and eaten this imbalance, because then that would be that area would be a potential for you to jump in. So let's continue. So if it bounces off of it, then, can take a high back up and see what's happening. So we're still consolidating, and a consolidation is great, is from what I'm learning, right? Because if it's consolidating, then it's gearing up for something, right? It's gearing up to make a big move. And so far it's been a downward move. So I would, if I see some sort of chart pattern to confirm it, then I would take that next candle down and ride it to this area right here, because this could be broken if it wants to. But honestly, what I'm looking for and what I'm hoping for is another touch of the SR flip area here, so I can, I don't know, do something. But what to do, right? So let's let that play out. So we're still consolidating. Look at this. And then coiling up a little bit. Man, this is boring. I don't know if I picked the right thing to try. I just wanted to try something I've never tried to trade. And well, now we're coiling down to this level. Ooh, look at that. They ate it. Oh, they broke it. All right, guys, hold on. Where's my pause button? All right, so check it. This is what I was talking about, right? Oh, but they didn't close below the level. They ate the imbalance. Let's see if they can close. It looks like they closed this candle and this candle below the level. Let's see if something like forms that would hook me up with a potential entry. So let's let that play out a little bit more. Ooh, coming back up, getting rejected. All right. Anything? Looks like we're coming back up into the level. Oh, fighting for it. Oh, broke it. Hold on. Cool. So check it. Look at this pattern right here. What is this thing called anyway? I keep forgetting. But this is a bearish pattern. Like, it's basically the bulls came in, tried to do their thing. They fought. This doji got created, and then the bears were like, heck yeah. So, having seen that, let's set our entry. Oh man, I did it again, y'all.
There's two playbooks that we're watching unfold right in front of us.
Did it again. Okay, so let's say, once we saw that form, we'd say we want to enter into our trade right here. And then just because we're using the Don Qian channel for stop loss estimations, oh my god, that is so high up. Yeah, we'd still have to put it above this anyway, above the SR flip area, just to be sure. Alright, so let's plop that up there, and let me take that off again, and then let's assume, or let's try and set our take profit. Let's say we come down here somewhere. Did that just create a level? Hold on, let me just make sure. And let's change that to our take profit. Okay, and then let's scoot over and see if there's anything juicy like an imbalance or anything. Well, there's a nice big, you know, candle and a lovely wick, and they've obviously come into this area multiple times. 1, 2, 3, you know, 4 times. So let's set our take profit around the area where they've already reached out to. Let me zip us over this way. Let's come this way. All right, now let's oh, this is that yeah, not the SR flip ever, but this. All right, so let's see how this plays out. Let's speed this up. You know, trading is really all about patience, you know. It really is, and it's hard, you know. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Oh, hold on, did I get stopped out? Pause. Let me drag this over. Not just yet. Almost though. Almost. Look at that. Look how close they came so far. Boom. Oh man, that's rough. Let's continue. But it made a high, so I don't know. And we're definitely not in any kind of profit right now. It's making higher lows, which makes me really nervous, and it's holding this level. So honestly, guys, once I saw that it broke above and it's, you know, finding support, boom boom, I would have probably exited about here and took a tiny loss, because, you know, look, let's see, how does this actually play out? Because I still haven't been stopped out if I were to like keep this trade, but they're consolidating and then making moves higher up. Yeah, so you look at that, I would have been stopped out anyway. So my original, yep, there we go. So my, oops, like so, yeah, so I wouldn't have been stopped out until about this candle, but still. So my original thoughts about confirming the breakout from here, and this is something that happens to me all the time. Like I enter way too quickly, you know, into the trades, and that's no bueno. Like I saw this at the thing, but it was above the level. That was kind of silly of me, right? I don't know. Well, that's why we're testing these things before we go ham and do anything, right? Just don't know. Anyway, so that definitely didn't work out. So what have we learned? If there is resistance, be patient and wait for confirmation. I think usually what happens is it breaks out, comes back to retest, and then if it's going to continue, it's just going to continue down. That doesn't look right. Right, so it's going to break out of the thing, it's going to retest it, and then if it's going to continue, that's what it's supposed to look like, and then bam, bam, and so on. But that's not what happened. Oh, stop. Good. That's not what happened. What happened was, see what happened was, right? It broke out, retested above the level, came back down, and then continued higher in this way, which is a bit of a W formation, right? And now it's continuing up that way. So my assumption and my desire to move too quickly did not help in this case. So I'm gonna take this as a learning experience, which is why I'm doing this in the first place, right? Testing things out so I can understand, you know, with my eyeballs, y'all, what I'm looking at without indicators, or any indicators that would help me figure out entry and exits. Anyway, let me know down in the comments what your thoughts were on this attempt, and y'all behave yourselves if you like my journey. Hit it in the comments, hit the like button, subscribe, and you know, if there's anything that you want to see me try, let me know. So this one was naked eye price action, just attempting to see if could figure it out. And I failed because I was too impatient in terms of the entry, and I saw this and I was like, yes, but then I should have really paid attention to these wicks, bam, 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 bam. You're not looking at it, right? Like, they tried, failed, you know, multiple times. I didn't see the potential pattern forming. So this is what we're trying to work through, right? We're trying to get to the point where we understand and can spot these things so we can make the appropriate decisions while trading. So I'm gonna test something else out. Let me know your thoughts, and I think that's good for today. Shakira out. Trade safely.